to trip and pair until it is dumb and dumber. Wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. Whatever. In case you're wondering, yes, I have been making Doom-related videos, particularly because of Doom the Dank Gauges. So I want to try and fill up the algorithm with related Doom videos until the game comes out. Which, no, I won't be playing it, nor will I be talking about it much unless there's an actual scandal, like when Mick Gordon didn't get paid for his music. Just because I don't care for the noise that he made, doesn't mean that I should withdraw the man from his payment. It will be a pretty big dick move for me to be that type of person. Pay your fucking employees, Bethesda! And Todd Howard. So quite a while ago, I made a video talking about the 7 deadly sins of Doom plus Doom 2, which I named the Osiris Project because that was the name of the executable that came with the initial release of the game or whatever. Consider this a revision 6.66, whatever bullshit meme that developers want to use now. It's just going to mainly be more or less a correction of a couple of things I mentioned, and since there's been quite a bit of updates, let's see what was changed and what hasn't changed, alright? So, let's just get right into it. This one I'm going to have to take a massive L on because I just got this part so wrong that it's not even funny. I mentioned that the master levels were in the same order that they were in the PS3 version, and in fact, it is not. In fact, the order is a lot more thoughtful, that you still start on attack, but you end the Master Levels campaign by fighting Baphomet, or whatever that it's called, the level where you fight the Icon of Sin. I'm still not a fan of Master Levels, and I really don't like the way this was implemented, especially since there's no pistol start option by default, at least when you don't use the difficulty modifiers, but whatever. Just want to go ahead and clarify this, as someone's going to say, oh, you did a really shitty job criticizing the thing you hate, and you don't want other people leaving likes even though you don't like the game, like when I disliked Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster or whatever, so just want to point out that even I can make mistakes, and I am sorry for making such a stupid mistake, but I am not sorry to Night Dive, who just did a really shitty job in this version of the game. It is their second worst version of a beloved classic. I said beloved classic. I forget it. Why the fuck it takes so long to actually fix this shit anyway? Fucking stupid. Okay, someone's actually have to explain this correctly and without being a dick. I still don't know what other setting causes that, when literally every other setting just doesn't conflict with it. I genuinely don't get Night Dive, honestly. Yes, they actually added Sigil 2 as part of the main lineup now, which means you don't need to use a Bethesda account to play John Romero's latest work. That being said, you still can't access the bonus WADs, even those made by the Casali brothers, or even accessing the Doom betas and alphas, which apparently John Romero himself got into some legal problems with Bethesda because he doesn't own Doom. Bitch, he made the fucking game! And, yeah, it's It's good to see Signal 2 finally added on here, but maybe not as long as I initially thought, but still pretty bad that it wasn't even added at launch when it was already completed when this remaster came out. I know it's a bit of an exaggeration to call it the From Software School of Reuse Assets, considering that one is made with actual love and care and the other is just made with the ScapeROMFiles and competence logic. Seriously, I've been watching Wings of Redemption play Elden Ring recently, and there's just so much bullshit I can just tell. Yeah, they just took that shit from this boss and they just called it a day. Like, a lot of the bosses in there, you can just tell that it's just the same fucking game. Can't wait for Netherless and his goons to go after me because I dare have an unpopular opinion. I said goons. I said... Oh, forget it. I still would have liked it to at least have a little bit more originality in its UI. And I hate to say this, but even when the modders, the thing that keeps classic Doom alive, even though I personally much prefer just playing the vanilla experience without it being ruined too much, as in, I don't give two fucks about Brutal Doom, and the fact there's blatant hypocrisy within the modding community is pretty funny to me, but I'm gonna shut my mouth on that before I turn this into an 18-plus discussion that nobody wants to have right now. It would have at least not killed Night Dive to at the very least not use the exact same fucking UI from the Unity version of Doom, but what do I know? Now, obviously there isn't much I can really do about it besides complain, but it still has to be said. A game like Doom or Quake or whatever property that Bethesda, quote-unquote, owns that was made by id Software, now in name only, requiring a Bethesda account just to play their games online is still pretty fucked. But I understand that it's a licensing thing, and since Microsoft owns Bethesda now, the legality and exclusivity is going to hamper these so-called gamers even more. Now, excuse me while I go play Dragon's Crown on the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox. Oh. The way of the dodo, huh? My ass. I'm just gonna let the footage speak for itself. For some reason I'm on the fucking bottom. That's nice. Alright, whatever. I guess this'll have to do. Fucking stupid Bethesda. Alright, so I don't know if this was in the recent version, but apparently when you highlight over somebody, you actually see their name, which is even problematic when you have the invisibility sphere, which is meant to keep you invisible in dark areas and also kind of fucks up the flow of combat against AI. Whatever. So let's go and show off a couple of things that make this version just really shitty. So first of all, input settings do not matter. I'm going to use the player 2, even though I'm technically player 1. Whatever. I set my fire button to left bumper. I'm actually holding the exact same controller. Now when I use this one, that's just fucking ridiculous. So they can't even get proper control settings down, even in a game like this. So yeah, very flawed multiplayer experience from the get-go. Also, if you set the game to... Shit, it's not it. I think it's in display? No. In multiplayer. If you set the game to vertical without widescreen, the crosshairs are legitimately fucked. Just look at this. How fucking stupid did Night Dive incorporate this shit? Like, come on. You mean to tell me that they couldn't adjust the crosshair when you have the game set to fucking horizontal for multiplayer? Are you shitting me? So that's good. The fucking game set to vertical without widescreen just fucks up the crosshair. Now, of course, if you don't have it on, then whatever, but it is still something worth noting that I'm sure people aren't going to care about because, well, Doom was never about the multiplayer, so who cares? Yeah, it's some fucking limited run game CEO logic, right? Let's see. Also, obviously, it shouldn't have to go without saying, but if you do change the crosshair, it does turn off for everybody. That's good. Whatever happened to individual player settings, who knows? Let's see. You actually can't use cheats in multiplayer. I'm kind of surprised, actually, but whatever. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. We're here to demonstrate shit, not fuck around in cheats. Is there another setting? Oh, yes. Oh, it's crosshair. Never mind. There's not even a setting that just lets you adjust individual player controller. I'm guessing you have to do it before you start the match? Then what's the fucking point? What the hell is the fucking point? Obviously, changing the field of view for all players affects it for everybody. Which I guess is fine, but what if someone wants to play at fucking 75 and what if someone wants to play at fucking Quake settings that was in Minecraft, whoever? That's so fucking ridiculous, dude. So fucking unacceptable for shit like this, excuse me. Obviously, because you're playing in multiplayer, the screen size isn't going to really do much because it's multiplayer. But I guess to be fair, they kind of learned that from the Xbox and PlayStation 3 ports of Doom and Doom 2, so whatever. You're always stuck with this one fucking setting. Though thankfully you actually can use the setting in single player, unlike in Unity Doom, so I'll kind of give it that. But this is still ridiculously fucked. Fucking 2024, and we still can have one decent way to play classic Doom on multiplayer. And no, it's not just a console thing, it's a PC it's the... Fuck. Damn it, I'm so pissed off I can't even speak. It's not a console limitation, it's also on your precious PC Master Race. Fucking stupid Todd Howard. Look, I don't care if I might have pissed somebody off saying that if you don't think Doom multiplayer matters, that you are clinically mentally retarded. I don't give a shit. The fact that Bethesda and Night Dive, whoever now, wants to sell you a limited version of a game whose levels were made with single player, cooperative, and multiplayer deathmatch in mind. Everyone complains about how shitty Call of Duty multiplayer levels are nowadays. People complain on just how mediocre that whatever game that isn't Call of Duty has really shitty single player and or cooperative levels that there are. Classic Doom, Quake, maybe some other id Software game that I can't remember the name of right now, or even shooters of old, even games like Duke Nukem 3D, Shadow Warrior, Blood. There might be some others that I'm missing. Whatever is defined boomer shooter, which I fucking hate the term. I almost hate it as much as Metroidvania, but I'm not going to have that conversation today. Not today, at least. All of the commercially shared WADs made out there, maybe except for Sigil, but I'm going to explain that in a second. They have all three elements of first-person shooter gameplay made in mind. Yes, it's like the Triforce, but not as shitty, and you can actually hold on to it. And yes, I'm also going to admit, not every level in Doom or Doom 2 or Final Doom or whatever Doom you want to call it is made for multiplayer in mind in the best possible way. I don't think playing fucking Map 29 in Doom 2 is going to be the best experience ever, but that doesn't mean that people shouldn't be restricted out of playing something like the Gauntlet. Yes, it's not the Gauntlet, but Gauntlet, or even Groose in Doom 2, because those levels are small as sin. Sure, they're not monotonously big or confusing or labyrinthy-like, but they're still perfectly playable, but for whatever reason, Night Dive just does not allow you to play these levels whatso-fucking-ever. I hate this shit. And in fact, I got into an argument about this online with a person who claimed that not only mistook me for saying censoring with censoring, and didn't even know that the fucking dudes who made Doom don't even work in the game anymore. Talk about living under a fucking rock. The rock of Mars, anyway. Just goes to show to me that these people don't know anything, but want to claim that I don't know anything. And you know what they say about that? People who don't know anything don't know nothing. Max circa 2004. But as for Sigil, John Romero actually added multiplayer exclusive spawn points, as the levels in Sigil probably would have been too elaborate for the spawn points he had. So that's why whenever you play Sigil and you're in a completely different part of the map, that's why. And yes, I know the auto map tends to ruin some of the surprise, especially if you disable autofollow, use IDDT, and see designs in the background. That's why that's there. So even your precious god, John Romero himself, does show that hashtag multiplayer matters in a Doom game. Why do you think he went out of his way to create 9 exclusive multiplayer levels in Sigil, and assumingly for Sigil 2? But remember guys, Doom was never about the multiplayer. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Seriously, you are clinically online retarded if you think that. I don't care if people get offended by that. I will stand by that. Even Romero himself made levels for multiplayer in Sigil. Even if it's not using the exact same layout or whatever, the fact that he still made 9 multiplayer levels for Sigil should say something about Doom multiplayer as a whole. And especially so for Hugo Martin, since he wants to create a lesser experience of what Turok Evolution got screwed over for. But that's going to be quite a while before we get into that can of mayonnaise. So just as a post-edit note, in case someone tries to correct me whether I'm playing the console version or PC version, first of all, it's all versions of Doom plus Doom 2, so don't give me that shit. It's also on your precious PC port. If Bethesda's going to try and sell us a proper version of Doom, at least make it correct and fucking functional. But what do I know? Anyway, I'm on Quake 2 right now, really quick, and just to show, yes, you have all the 3 options, but just for the sake of it, let's just go on LAN, alright? Let's go ahead and show just what levels you can play on, alright? Obviously, this game has a lot more settings compared to the other games of the like, so let's see what levels we can play on. Okay, well, you have all of the missions from the game, assumingly. This looks like all the levels from Quake 64 as well, another version of the game. Just in case people don't believe me that I'm trying to twist the narrative, I'm actually cycling through the menus. Yeah, you got all the expansions, whatever. You got all of the levels you can play on. I'm guessing some levels are made purely for the other modes. I'm not familiar with this one compared to the other. I'm guessing these 8 levels are also on the PlayStation port. I don't feel like showing that right now. Maybe in post-editing. I'll have to do the same thing with Quake 64 as well, if I get around to that. So I'm going to assume that Quake 2 had levels made just for Deathmatch, compared to what Quake 1 did, which we're going to go ahead and switch to that very quick. Oh look, bots by the way. You see that shit? Bots. Holy fuck. What a novel concept. Okay, so right now I'm on Quake now, and as you can obviously see, I'm playing the definitive version, I guess. So let's go ahead and check this really quick. Now, I actually did go on here very quick, just to make sure that I wasn't making up some bullshit, and I'm not doing some slicing. I guess they added Horde as a sort of mode or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. So I'm just going to focus on Deathmatch, I guess. Now, since the original Quake was basically Doom in 3D, that's a bit of an understatement. Look at this. You got all of the deathmatch levels and all of the missions that are in the game. So they actually had intended to not only have extra levels made just for deathmatch, but you could also play all 4 episodes of Quake in multiplayer. Even the final level gets its own fucking deathmatch level, as well as the entrance when you play the game initially. What a fucking shell shock. So why did Night Dive not include the levels in multiplayer for Doom and Doom 2? Prove me wrong, haters, and I may, just may, end up playing your precious sacred cow, Doom the Dank Gauges. I still very dislike this version of Doom and Doom 2, Doom plus Doom 2, just because they cut the multiplayer from this. Even Unity Doom did not get screwed over this harshly compared to all of the other console ports of Doom have come before, and even in our gracious Lord of 2025, we still can't have a version of Doom that isn't completely scrutinized by bad design. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go do something more productive. Playing Doom as it was intended on DOSBox. Axe the box part, please. Or you will be doxxed.